Hello, I'm Nick Serba. Welcome to 5 Minute Strong, and let's talk about 3 simple keys to a great December. Many years ago, I heard a great speaker by the name of Zig Ziglar, a great motivator, presenter, salesperson, and he talked about a gentleman by the name of Howard Hill, who was an outstanding athlete, 3-sport athlete from the state of Alabama, was born in 1899, died in 1975, but what he was best known for was as an archer, and he had won 196 consecutive archery tournaments. But Zig made a blatant statement from the stage which basically said this: he could beat Howard Hill in an archery contest by just doing 2 things. Putting a blindfold around Howard Hill, number 1, and spinning him around 3 times. And of course he was trying to make a point, and the point very simply was this: talent is not enough. What's important is you have to have a target. You got to be able to see that target. You can't hit a target you don't see, and you definitely cannot hit a target that you do not have. That brings me to key point number 1, simple key number 1 for a great December. Simple key number 1, you have to have a target. You have to have something you can see, something you can visualize, something that is in front of you, so you can focus on that one thing. You also have to have a reason, a why, as to why you're doing that, because you're going to have some difficulty. December alone is going to give you some difficulty depending upon where you live in the country. Maybe some bad weather, or you could just experience the bad weather of life. But you're going to have some challenges, and when you have those challenges, it may be difficult to be passionate about what you do. That's why it's important to have the why, to be passionate about why you are doing it. As a second part of that, you ask yourself a question: why do I not have it now? And be honest about that. Are you doing the things that are necessary? Are you having the activity? Do you have a specific plan? And the third part of that first key is, what am I going to do about it? Because as soon as you ask yourself a question, what am I going to do about it, you stop focusing on the problem, you start focusing on the solution. Now you can move forward. You eliminate the excuses, you're focusing on a solution. Now what am I going to do about it? You need to move into 2 areas basically. What is within my control? Those 2 things are how often I do something or how well I do something. And so that's what you need to focus on when you ask, what am I going to do about it? And then be specific. When you're deciding what you're going to do about it, have a specific goal, a specific plan, lay it out what you're going to do on a daily and hourly basis. Ask yourself these questions. What is the best use of my time right now? What can I do with what I have where I am today? Those are the kind of questions that you want to ask yourself. Now let's go to simple key number 2, and that is focus. I'm suggesting to you that during the month of December, you put it in just your entire focus on the accomplishment of your goal. Now you've got family, you've got other things, so how are you going to find that time during this busy time of the year? How about taking the Pareto 80-20 principle, which says about 20% of the things that we do, the activities we have, the time that we invest, produce about 80% of the results, or 20% of the people produce about 80% of the results. So if that's the case, look at the 80%, eliminate for the month of December as much as you can of that 80%, and move that time into focusing on those few things, the 20%, that will produce you the results, and focus on those things. Okay? That brings me to the second simple key, and that is focus. Focus is unbelievably important. You can do everything, but you can't do everything at the same time. It takes focus. If you're a multitasker, I think it's gotten too much credit. All that means you're doing more than one thing, not as well as you could have done any one of those things. Take a water jet. You put water and you put it out through a regular hose, goes on the sidewalk and it waters the lawn and all those kinds of things. But you put water through a water jet, a modern water jet, which increases the pressure to 30 times plus over what a regular pressure washer is in a car wash. With new technology, can increase the speed of that water at the end of that hose to over 2,300 miles per hour. You can actually cut through steel and cut it to the thinness of a human hair. That's what you can do with that water jet. That same kind of focus put in the month of December on your goals will cut through the problems, cut through the issues, and keep you focused on the right direction. That's key number 2. And key number 3 is basically, very simply, 3 words. I am responsible. What am I responsible for? What is within my control? What is within your control? What's within your control is how well you do something and how often you do it. That's fully within your control. So I want you to ask yourself a question throughout every day, throughout every week, throughout every hour. And basically on every decision, will this decision bring me closer or further from my goals? Because I am in control. I am responsible. And basically that eliminates excuses from my upline, the company, the economy, anything else. I'm in control. Now, are you in control of all the circumstances you're going to confront? No, definitely not. But you are in control of the choices that you make. And those choices that you make will create the consequences, good or bad, that you're going to have to live with at the end of December. So my suggestion to you is this. Key number 1, set a goal, understand your why. What are you going to do about it? Simple key number 2, focus, intense focus, just like that water jet. Key number 3, simple key number 3, take full responsibility. I am responsible for what? What's within my control, how often I do it, how well I do it, and ask myself a question on a daily basis. What do I want? How am I going to get there? Will this decision make me closer or further from my goal? So you have a happy, a healthy, and a prosperous New Year, and Gail and I wish you Merry Christmas.